Hello Class 4, this is the final video in my series on written methods. This time we are looking at division. We're going to look at both short division and long division. This is the short method. We sometimes call this bus stop because it sort of looks like these numbers are waiting at a bus stop. So we start off by looking at the first digit waiting to get on the bus, which is number 4. And we say to ourselves, how many groups of 5 can I make from 4? And obviously the answer to that is 0 because it's not even one lot of 5. But we can't forget about the 4. The 4 has to move along and it joins with the next number to make 49. Now we ask ourselves how many groups of 5 from 49, and that would be 9, which is 45. So 9 times 5 is 45. So there would be 4 left over. There's a remainder of 4, and that shuffles along to the next number. How many groups of 45? Well, that's an exact multiple of 5, which is 9. So that goes on the top. Nothing to, no remainder, nothing to move along. So now we're looking at how many groups of 5 can we make from 2, and obviously that is 0. But the 2 moves along and becomes part of the next number. How many groups of 5 from 27? That would be 5, because 5 times 5 is 25, and our remainder is 2. Now that's absolutely fine to leave it there for year 5. They are just looking at dividing with the remainder. For year 6, I asked them to push it a little bit further, and I would ask them to express that as a decimal, which is going to be 2, because the remainder is 2, and there's we're dividing by 5, so it's 2/5. 9,905 and 2/5, and they could record that as a decimal. It's quite an easy one to do as a decimal, so 2/5 is equal to 0.4. So they could record that answer as 9,905.4. Okay, so moving on to long division. I just want to say long division is officially a year 6 only topic. So year 5, you don't need to worry about it too much this year, but it is a primer for next year, and there is going to be a whole class lesson on it when we come back in January. So it is worth sort of being a little bit familiar with it so that you don't panic too much, but don't feel that you need to master it just yet. Okay, so long division is when we have a number that we are dividing by a 2-digit number, and we don't know our 25 times table too easily, although it is one that I picked because it was easy to work out, but you might find yourself needing to divide by 27 or 49 or something that is a bit more tricky. The first step to do is always to work out that times table. So here you can see I've worked out my multiples of 25 that's going to help me with this problem. If you're dividing by a different number, you would need to work that times table out. Now, in my experience, this is where we are most likely to make a mistake. If we are doing repeated addition of something like 37, it's very easy to make a mistake. So always double check your answers, year 6 and obviously year 5 if you're doing this, and make sure that you have got the exact right multiples, because even if you get one wrong, all the ones after that are going to be wrong as well. So we start off with looking at the first 2 digits this time. There's no point in looking at the first digit. We know it's not even going to be one lot of what we're dividing by. So we start off looking at 38. And we ask ourselves, how many groups of 25 can we make from 38? And obviously checking across here, it is just the first one. So that is one lot of 25. Now we do this now as a subtraction. We write it out as a column subtraction, and we do 38 take away 25 to work out what the remainder would be. So 8 take away 5 is 3. 3 tens take away 2 tens is 1 10, so 13. And now we bring down the next digit. I like to draw a little arrow here to show you what's happening. So my 13 now becomes 132. How many groups of 25 can I make from 132? So let me look across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lots of 25 is 125, so I can subtract that. So I'll put my 5 at the top to show that's 5 groups of 25, and I subtract 125 from 132. I need to exchange here. So my answer is just 7, in fact. These would both be 0. So now I bring down the next digit, which is 7. So now I'm looking at 77. And if I look across to my multiples of 25, I can see that I can get 3 groups of 25, which is 75. So pop a 3 at the top. And now I can, excuse me, now I can do a subtraction of 75. And that's obviously just going to leave me with 2. Bring down the final digit, which is 25. Okay, you can see that. I zoom out a tiny bit. So that would be one group of 25, and obviously if I take that away, I'm going to be left with 0, which means I have no remainders. So 38,275 divided by 25 is 1,531. I hope that made sense. Thank you very much for watching. If you've watched all 4 videos, thank you, and I hope that you have found it helpful.